The purpose of this short video will be to give you feedback for the YY or tree diagram assignment, as well as to help you with some other types of technical issues. So let me first show you if the quality of these videos is not up to your liking because they play on YouTube. Let me just pick something really quickly. Hopefully I'll pick something that's safe. There we go. We'll do this one. What you'll notice is, and I'll stop the playing of it, can you see this little cog button here? Let me make it bigger. So there's a button that looks like a wheel or a cog. If you'll click on that, one of the things you can do is change the quality of the video. And so that might help make things clearer. And I'm working on my end to make sure that I can get you the best quality possible for those videos. So that may be one thing you could do. The next thing is, let me show you a couple of submissions from students. So this one is from John, and we're going to critique John's YY chart and make sure that it does all the things it was supposed to do. So this week, and let's make sure you guys can see this. This week you were supposed to submit this was from week 4. You were supposed to submit a YY diagram, and I told you I was going to look for logical progression of your Y questions, as well as was it clear to me what your problem was and what your solution was. So John's diagram nicely has a problem. The department is losing revenue because they're not able to charge for all the patients who are on oxygen. And he explains that as he goes through this progression. So I'll let you read those. And so oxygen rounds are what most facilities use as a way to record and charge their oxygen. And so then he arrives at a solution to have night shift charge for the patients who have been admitted during the day. So did it clearly have a progression of Y questions that led to a logical solution that matched his problem? Yes. Okay, so that's John's. I picked another couple of students here, and let me remember where I've hidden those. Okay, Sheila kind of had a humorous one, and if you know Sheila, you know she's capable of that. So one of hers has a logical outcome and one doesn't, and she didn't get a penalty for that or anything. So look at the way she set up her questions, and part of the reason I selected her YY or tree diagram chart is to show you that in some cases you will need to split these off. So her problem is the dishes aren't getting done, and as she starts to try and identify the root cause, she's lost one of the 2 children that the duties used to rotate through. So she comes up with a solution of don't let your kids go off to college, and that is a solution, isn't it? But here's the real one that's probably going to work over here. The problem is really that schedule. And so she's identified that now the schedule is going to have to change because a child changed. And good luck, Sheila, doing your share of the dishes. The class will expect a report from you. I have 4 charts I'm going to show you. This is one from Jeff. And if you look up, he clearly tells you what his problem is. So as you're looking at your grade, if you didn't receive 20 out of 20, I should have given you some feedback that explained why, and hopefully seeing these, whether you got 20 out of 20 or you did not, whether you earned that, you will understand those YY diagrams. So all of them can look different. That's fine, and I really appreciate those of you who attempted using those tools on Word or with your Mac to try and make a professional looking chart. So his Kanban system, which is one of the ways for doing just in time or lean, if those of you have seen your departmental storage areas or storerooms remodeled, a lot of them were because of lean, which is part of the 6 Sigma process of quality improvement. And one of those is to minimize waste and to minimize really the steps it takes in a process. So the storerooms should all look the same if they're storing similar types of equipment. So he has, again, he's identified 2 problems when he gets to this point. So he started to ask why questions and realized now there's 2 why questions. And so some of you in your feedback, I told you it looks like you're dealing with 2 problems and tried to just stay in that one line. There may be times where you have to split out to identify those root causes. And so he does have a logical solution that addresses each of those problems that he identified. So that was a very nice job and good effort on Jeff's part. Here is a chart submitted by Robert, and Robert got in a little bit of trouble with me because he submitted his assignment on the same day that I posted the assignment, and I figured there can't be any good coming from something that you, not that you can't do a good job on that. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make a joke of, as a professional procrastinator, it really gets me when people submit their assignments that quickly. So it made me hurt a little bit. And I hope you realize that I'm kidding. And I hope Robert's the kind of student who will take that little ribbing there. I guess I'll find out if he watched this video, huh? So here's the problem that he identified, and let's see if he goes through a logical progression of why questions until he comes up with a solution. So I'll let you read through these, and to help with that, I will grow this a little bit so that you can see those questions. And let me move it around to make you dizzy. So this outcome could have been very bad. And do you see how there's a logical progression? He didn't have to put the whys. It was logical that there's a why in there, and this question led to this question, led to this question, or led to this answer, and then here's the solution that he's come up with. And so these are 4 examples that show you how that assignment, if you had some problems or you just wanted to review to make sure that you got it. I hope that helps, and I will always try and do this a little bit to kind of give you some recognition if you're a student who submitted a piece of or an assignment that demonstrates very well what I was looking for. If you weren't selected and you got 20 out of 20, hey, your time will come. So keep up the good work. We're all good. We're all smart enough. We're all good enough. The next thing I'd like to do very quickly is show you what if I wanted to save this assignment. So I think we had a few problems with getting assignments uploaded this week, and I think some of you were doing it maybe in a format that Blackboard didn't like. So let's see if you're computer literate, this is going to be old news for you. If you're a computer newbie, maybe it will help. When I click this button in Word, and I'm sure there's a similar button in Mac, and I can select Save As instead of Save. Now I can do not only the location and the file name, I can pick all that information, but I can also select what type of file I'm saving. So do you see I could save it as a PDF, or I could save it in rich text format, or I could save it as a Word. So if you have a Mac, maybe what you could do is look for, there should be a PDF file save as. I think if you were trying to save a GIF file, that is a picture format, or a JPEG is a picture format. And so that might have been one of the problems. The next thing I thought I would show you, so if I wanted to save Jeff's assignment, and I'll turn it in as my own work next year maybe, I would tell it where I want it to save, and a lot of times if I want to grab it quick, I'll just save it on my desktop. You can see all the fun stuff we've got going, a drug testing policy coming. The next thing I'd like to do is to show you using a test student. You see that the student only is enrolled in one class, and they need to submit an assignment. So they're going to go to their weekly assignment folder, and they'll find that assignment link in there. So this week, here's the link you'll be using to submit your indicators assignment. And I'm going to select Browse My Computer. And I'm going to find that file. Like I said, sometimes I just save those on my desktop. I can search for the file name, and then I could just click on it. Maybe this is the one I want to upload. Let's do this one, okay? I want to submit that, and I say, okay, it looks like it's showing there, and I click Submit. Now I want to know if it really did submit. Did it really reach Jody? So look at this cool thing. I can go in to check my grades or the grade book. I can see, and I have to remember what I submitted it to. There we go, indicators assignment. I should be able to look at, oh look, there was an email that came in, see about problems submitting an assignment. Do you see it will show you a copy of what you submitted? So you can make sure that I got it by looking at, hey, I can open it up on Blackboard and I can see that it's there and it's the right file. And I'll try to remember to set these, that if you accidentally make a mistake, like I'm forever doing something and then saying, oh shoot, I wanted to change this little piece on it and now I want to submit my new assignment, I'll try and remember to set the settings of the submission buttons so that you can do multiple attempts. And I think those are the things I wanted to talk about today. There was one other thing, and it's horrible that I'm having to remember the name of this. Hospital Compare. If I just put in Hospital Compare, and I have the link in your assignment folder this week. It's in the week 5 assignment document itself. This is put together by Medicare. And what I can do is I can search by zip code, city, or state. And I'm going to search by state. It will show me all the hospitals in my state who have submitted information, who basically receive Medicare payments. And it will show you some of the indicators that they're looking at. So really quickly, just to kind of show you how this works, I'm going to select one hospital that I'm familiar with in Idaho, St. Alphonsus Regional Medical Center. And when I open up that hospital, it will tell me patient survey results. One of the things that Medicare, and because Medicare does it, the third-party reimbursement payers such as Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Humana, your bigger insurance companies are going to do what Medicare does. Look at what they're tracking. They're tracking patient satisfaction, and you can see how the hospital's average compares to the national average compares to your own state's average. Look what they're asking patients about. Did people explain to them what their medication was for? This one. So there are things that directly impact the work we do with patients in hospitals, and they in turn get to have some feedback on it. Now we go to timely and effective care for certain conditions. So this is where they're tracking those metrics. Let's look at, this hospital has a large emergency department. It tells the lay person why that data is important. And look at what we can find. Average time patients spent before they were admitted to the hospital as an inpatient, and you want a lower number of minutes. So how quickly was I able to get through the emergency room and actually get into the hospital if that was where I needed to be seen? Look at the data that you can tell in a hospital. And there are people who have problems with this because, as you know, if you have experience in healthcare, certain hospitals are going to accept a certain type of clientele that might be sicker. If you're a community or county hospital, you have to take all comers, where a private pay hospital can be more selective in their patients. And so there are people who have a problem with how come healthcare is one of the areas that we can't just price things. Why can't I know the price of a procedure in advance? Why can't I know about my doctor in advance? And so there are more and more websites doing that. This is a very formal one, the Medicare.gov website, and I got to it by just putting in Hospital Compare. It's a good thing to teach your family members about. It's something that I use if I have a family member in a different state and they say I need to go in for this procedure. I can look at data on that hospital. It may not be the best thing, but it's one of the things I can use to make a decision and help get them some information. So I hope these things help, and I will catch you next time.